If you could have a drink with anyone in the theater world, who would it be? I'm Anthony Caporale, and I'm running through my list. Each week, I'll sit down with cast members, bartenders, and personalities from New York's theater district and get a behind-the-scenes look at what it's like to live, work, and play on Broadway. Come have a drink with us on Broadway Bartender. Welcome to Broadway Bartender. My name is Anthony Caporale, and we are here at New World Stages in the heart of Manhattan's Theater District, home to my show, The Imbible, A Spirited History of Drinking. And this episode, we're making brunch drinks. And as usual, you will understand why when you see who our special guests are. So we're going to start with a very classic brunch drink. This is a Bellini, and I'm just going to start with about 2 ounces of peach nectar into some champagne flutes. And then I'm going to top it with Prosecco, which is sparkling Italian wine. And as you may know, a lot of people call this champagne, but it's actually sparkling wine. Champagne must be made in France, specifically the Champagne region of France. And that's one of the things that you will learn if you go see the show that we are visiting with today. It's actually the Imbible's new show, our brunch show, the Imbible Day Drinking, and we actually serve the drinks that we're making here in the show. And we have with us Nicole DiMattei,
hello,
Alex Herrera,
thank you,
Luke Schaffer,
hello, Anthony,
and Sarah Hinrichsen. This is my cast of the Imbible Day Drinking. Guys, thank you so much for coming. Yeah. Cheers.
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 Ooh.
Oh yeah, I'll drink to that.
Yeah. So not your first Bellini.
Definitely not. Not my last. Not my last. Yeah.
So yeah, you guys actually make these drinks during the show, right in front of the audience. One of the cool things that we do in this show is we actually make the drinks while we're singing. But I want to hear your perspective on this show. I want you to tell the audience a little bit about what it was like putting up this show, and also if you kind of learned anything while you were doing the show. Before that, let's get started with who you are, your roles in the show, and then what you've been doing with the company. Broadway Theater Studio is the producing company from the whole Imbible series. So let's start with Sarah. So who do you play?
I played Daisy.
Yeah, just Daisy?
No, no. I also played Dill, who's a pickle vendor, at the Columbia Green Market. Wow, which really hits close to home. I love Dill and Daisy as well. But Daisy's a travel yoga blogger, and then Dill is a pickle vendor. I guess I should leave it at that,
No,
right?
why does it hit close to home?
It hits close to home because my family actually makes award-winning pickles and has for like 30 years. Yeah, so I'm from California originally, and they've entered the Los Angeles County Fair every year and won the blue ribbon for pickles, for their dill pickles.
I love it.
Yes.
And so, off-Broadway debut?
Yes,
Here?
yes, New York off-Broadway debut. Here in the Imbible.
So glad to have you. Welcome to the cast and the company and all kinds of great stuff.
Awesome.
Luke.
Hello.
Talk to me.
I play Ash.
Yes,
who's
you
a
do.
Tired, hungover mess. And then I play Vin, who actually tells you all about champagne. Speaking of Bellinis,
yeah,
he's a spirit salesman, I guess. Is what I call him.
So explain a little bit about the two characters. Why do you guys all have 2 roles in the show?
Yeah, so we have one character who's trying to go to brunch with their 3 other friends, and then we have another person who is telling them about the cocktail drinks. So one of them is learning, and one of them is teaching.
Got it.
So we have different kind of scenes with each different other character. Yeah.
Awesome.
Very informational.
Alex.
Yes, I learned a lot. Everything in the script I did not know. So I played 2 characters. My main one is Forrest, who's the one trying to host the brunch. And everyone's really flaky and backing out last minute. So then my next one is Joe, who works at a coffee shop. Joe, it goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
I teach Nicole, actually, her character, how to pull the perfect espresso shots. So, which I had no idea how to do before the show.
Really, you learned it actually for the show?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I just cast people based on whether they can like sing and act and stuff. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew about the pickle thing, so that's not why you got the role, but that's awesome. Cool. And Nicole,
Hello.
Hello.
I play Brooke, who's overworked, trying to be a CFO, and Poppy, who's a baker at also the Columbia Green Market, who teaches about brunch.
He's like the opposite of Brooke.
Who is the opposite of Brooke. I get to use a fun voice.
I love it. So you have been with the company for...
I mean, just a little bit of time.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Hi, Anthony.
Hi.
We
Nicole actually
co-founded
the Broadway Theater Studio with me. How long has it been? I mean,
Almost 9?
9 years ago.
Well, hold on. No. We met in 2009. So that would be, we're coming up on meeting 9 years ago, but almost then creating Broadway Theater Studio.
Right. Yeah, so
Probably
for those
just
of you guys who
over.
don't know this story, and for none of the viewers, I was actually the general manager of a restaurant here in New York and hired Nicole as a bartender. And then we were sitting around one day and said famously, we should read scripts on a couch somewhere or something. What did we say?
No, so what happened was, this is what happened. Anthony hired the coolest group of people, and we were all so young, but excited, and now we're all these cool bartenders, and then Anthony quit. And this was 3 months. 3 months. I think the restaurant had only been open for 2 months. And then he was like, it's okay, we'll all still hang out. And I was like, no, we're not. Everyone else was like, yes, we will. And I was like, no, we are not. I know how this works. You leave, and then we'll never see each other again. And then he was like, but what if we got together and read scripts? And I was like, sure.
And here we are.
And here we
almost 9
are.
years later. So you were right.
The one time. The one time. But it was the important one. Yeah, no, Broadway Theater Studio was literally supposed to be just a way for people to get around and, keep their chops up and read, do scene studies and help new authors start to write. And then this one starts to write and gets in all these festivals. And the next thing you know, we're doing Fringe with 2 shows and ... the Imbible. Yada, yada, you get the Imbible. So we've been working together for quite a while. And also, Nicole co-directs and co-produces all of our shows. So you know her in many roles. So, Alex,
Yes.
tell us about how, tell the audience, because I know, how you got involved with the company.
Well, I auditioned, so that's about it. Yeah, I mean, I sent an email, I think, via Backstage I applied. If anyone doesn't know, that's backstage.com is one of the many websites you can use. And I got called in, and I did one of the song a cappella, and then I did a minute monologue or 2-minute monologue, and that was it.
And killed it.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
You did.
And then
You killed
I
it. It
came
was
back
great.
in and learned some music off the cuff, and came in and sang it, and you had me read for Joe,
Yep.
which I am now doing.
Awesome. And Luke, you've been of this group other than Nicole, you've been with the company the longest, yeah?
Yeah, since 2015.
Wow,
How
has
weird
it
is
really?
Yeah, almost, I think October, it's almost 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, back
And
since
in
Soho.
back when we at Soho Playhouse.
Yeah.
So tell us about the other things that you do with the Imbible company.
I'm in the Imbible, A Spirited History of Drinking as one of the bases. And I've been doing that obviously since October 2015. It's funny because my old roommate, who I moved to New York City with, I was put in because he left. So I think that I had a little upper hand.
Okay, he had seen the show 4 times.
I knew exactly what you needed. But hey, you gotta do it. You gotta do what you gotta do to get booked and blessed.
Right.
Hashtag bless.
So brunch, the Imbible Day Drinking. This is our 4th version of the Imbible. So as we've talked about, we've been running for 3 years now. The company's been putting on Imbibles for about 3 years. This is the very first time that we've done an original musical that's period and full stop, but it's also completely character driven. There's a story. The original show is very much, people called it like a musical TED Talk. Yeah, right.
That's a good way of describing it.
Yeah, I think so. But this is very much a show to the extent that we can also be educational, which we always are. So talk a little bit about what your experience was, and don't pull any punches. I really want to know. Seriously, what was it like working on an original off-Broadway musical? First of all, whose first time was it doing that?
Me, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
You'd done some development work before, and then obviously we had done some development work before. So what was it like? What was your experience?
It was crazy. Well, it was exciting, I think, because there's a lot of things.
A lot of feelings.
No, it was fun because it's sort of like you come into rehearsal and you do the scene, and then it's like, okay, that night at 3 a.m. we're getting emails like, here's the new script, and I'm like, wait, what? So it was cool and exciting. I think it was fun too to like try to have the ability to try these different characters, because it's such, I think it's more, I tell people like, come, it's an experience, even more than a show. Like you're getting, it's a brunch and there's drinks and there's characters and everybody's running around with wigs and it's a lot. So I think it was an interesting experience to get to try new things while we're also creating this musical,
Right.
And sort of what it's going to be, and then also learning to bartend.
Yeah.
Like,
You also have
at
to
the end
do
of the
that
day, yeah, we
when you're
had
working
a
the
woman ask about it. She was like, "Did you guys know how to bartend before you started this?" And I said, "Absolutely not, not even a little bit." But we had a fearless leader, thank God. So
We do ask you
Yeah.
to do a lot of things.
good.
So, Alex, to sum up, if you had to sum up what the Imbible experience is to like an audience member, because clearly we get people in here who's like, I had no idea what to expect, and what do you think what is it that makes the Imbible unique? How would you like kind of sum up the Imbible, the day drinking experience? What are they going to get?
I mean, it's unlike any other show you're ever gonna see. You're ever gonna see. Like I tell my friends, I was like, it's just a lot of fun. It's hard to describe, because I don't want to give away what it is exactly. But I said, you get to come, you get to have 3 drinks like you're having a brunch with friends, and it's music and it's a lot of fun. But Josh, our musical director, said it was like the Magic School Bus TV show.
An alcoholic magic school
Yeah,
bus.
for adults. You get on this bus and you're on this ride, you really don't know where you're going, and all of a sudden you're in it to win it and you're loving every moment of it. So I don't know. That's really cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Anything, your take on it?
I mean, for me, it's just fun because when we were learning it, it's a brand new script, so you have no idea what you're looking at. You're having to come up with these characters on the fly, and then also learning original music, but then it's kind of written for you. It's like, when you were writing it, it's kind of like, okay, what he did was funny, let me go with that. So it's really based around us as people and our character choices, which is why I love doing original things, because you can really put yourself in it. But that
Absolutely.
music is the hardest things I feel like
Oh
I've
my
ever
gosh.
had to learn in my life.
The thing about music, and unlike most original musicals, is that it's all a cappella, which is what we do at the Imbible. But Josh had a lot of fun with this one.
Our composer and
I mean, he's a genius.
arranger. He's a genius, yes.
Yeah, but definitely was like, oh my gosh, I get to create a new musical? Here we go. So having to be the instruments behind the soloists, as well as sometimes you're the soloist, and then, that's
in the same bar.
that one.
Sometimes, yeah.
It's
That's
beautiful.
crazy. Yeah.
It's so fun. Also, only one other show this season was a cappella. So it's something brand new that no one's really seeing
Right.
in the theater community right now.
Right.
So to be a part of that is really exciting, something brand new.
That's awesome. So, most difficult thing about doing a new original musical, do you think? Either as a producer or as an actor?
We didn't say music. Music wasn't that.
It was the music.
I mean, in this one, I honestly think it was the music. We've produced a lot of shows now. I think this one was probably the smoothest.
Don't tell them that. 'Cause they're like, whoa. Wow, what have these people been doing before? No, really, actually, I think it absolutely was.
We had all the props and costumes 2.5 weeks ahead of time. That never happened. And even not original musicals, that doesn't happen. So to
Right.
be able to put your hands on that kind of stuff, and then being able to know all the bartending aspects of the show 2 weeks ahead of time, I think that was really helpful.
Yeah, I found it helpful. I think it's a testament to you guys that we were able to put this thing up so quickly. I mean, there was, a lot of people when we told them what the time frame was, they were like, really?
Good luck.
Yeah. But you guys killed it, and it's just really exciting to watch it come to life. In terms of like creating the roles, like being able to create, you're nodding, because I know you have some things that I know you've got. Talk to me.
I mean, that was my favorite part, I think. I mean, some parts, it's so different because when you get a script that sometimes ahead of time most of the time. And for me personally, I like to do my homework. I get it done. I come in and do my job and see if the director wants to give me directions. It's very straightforward. But this, everything's free game. So you can do whatever you want, try new things. Sometimes we're a little frustrating because you're like, oh, I think it's this. No, it's not that. That didn't work. But it's actually really fun because you get to, like you said, you get to put yourself into it, but then you also don't. You get to escape and do whatever you want, which I love. So I think out of any show I've ever had to do or got to do. This is the most creative, I feel like, in a way, outlet that you normally don't get to do. So as an artist and a performer and actor, it's very fulfilling, and the process, I feel like, was very fulfilling. Yeah.
That's excellent. That's one of the reasons why I love doing original works, is because it's not imitative, and if it's really good, it's not even derivative, right? Mm-hmm. You eventually get to a point where you find your own voice, but you have to first, do the things that other people who've gone before you have done really well, and then you can kind of go out and, put your own spin on them, right? But it's definitely I think the most fulfilling when you get there. And you guys have just done an amazing job. So, all right, I want to hear about your stories, how you came to theater.
Loaded question.
Yeah. Let's reverse it. Let's start with Nicole.
Oh, how I came to theater.
How'd you get your start? I mean, because seriously, your career has been pretty amazing. I mean, you've produced 4 off-Broadway shows now. You've been in all of them. You co-wrote one, you co-direct all of them. How did you get here? What was your Nicole 10 years ago? What was she thinking about?
Let's see. So I grew up singing opera, and then realized I was a little too weird for opera.
What
the
a
truth.
statement.
Yeah, I mean, opera's a thing. You have to be real serious, and I was like, well, I want to sing and dance and be weird. So I was like, let me do musical theater, which was also interesting because I had never done musical theater before. But luckily, I had a pretty good run of regional theaters after college, and then, honestly, then I started writing, and I've written 14 books. I've
started out there.
Shocks me every time.
I know. 14 books. Yeah.
And then at the same time that I wrote my full-length play, which is I Feed You, which was at the 2014 Fringe Festival. Also, Imbible was at the 2014 Fringe Festival, and that exact same month, 3 days after we opened both shows, I was writing for a sketch comedy group at Caroline's on Broadway. So that was crazy.
That was a crazy summer.
Yeah, and then I got really into writing. I wrote a pilot, which was produced last year and is finally almost finished.
Okay.
It's called Avenues. It's essentially like Wizard of Oz meets This Is Us, family.
Good logline.
Yeah, right, thanks. Family, what happens. So it's about grieving. So essentially how 5 friends deal with the possible upcoming death of their friend, and 3 magical beings come and let them spend a few more days with her. So they're.
I don't want to give any of it away, but I love the whole central conceit, why it's called Avenues. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the friends all start. The hospital is on. Actually, it might be the opposite. Oh, the hospital technically is on First Avenue, which is where the hospital is, the New York Presbyterian Hospital. And then they're walking across town to her funeral. So, and then, every time it's it's weird and really hard to explain, but
right. But every time they get to a different avenue,
the episode changes.
Right.
So it takes an
Isn't it
entire
great?
episode.
That is a lovely concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I pitched that. Sorry.
Yeah, that's really cool. And the Uptown 2 Express, similar thing. It was the subway.
So that's where it started. I wrote a short play. That was my first. Was essentially someone's life traveling from Chamber Street, which was birth, to 96th Street, which was her death. And just 14th was 2 14-year-olds, and 34th was a newly married couple. 42nd was a couple possibly facing divorce. 72nd was you get it.
Just beautiful.
Clever.
Yeah,
Very
clever
clever.
and just
that-
well executed.
Yeah, it was. That was great.
Yeah.
But it was kind of the basis for Avenues. I also run another pilot, but that's about clones.
Did you finish that one?
The pilot is done.
Oh, good.
We're working on treatment stuff now.
Awesome. So busy career.
Busy, yeah.
Awesome. And then on the side, she produces
It's
Imbibles. Alex, tell me how you got to here.
Well, I won't bore everyone with the whole story, but I grew up with music. My grandmother had perfect pitch. She was a tapper. My brother's a professional jazz musician. Sister sings. I was just surrounded by music my entire life. So actually, it was kind of the same realm. I actually started out singing first, and did all state choir and all that stuff, and symphonic band, and played trumpet, and actually performed at essentially Ellington here in New York City, went in Marcellus. When I used to play, when I used to play, our band did, not just me, I'm not that good. But then I kind of wanted to get into music in some realm. And I did really well in high school with musicals. I was always cast as like the lead, and I had some award recognitions, statewide and nationally. But then I went and decided, well, I'm either going to do a voice major or I'm going to be a theater major. I don't know what I want to do, but I'm going to do one of the two. I ended up getting a full ride to a college. I'm not gonna say it.
Oh my God.
It's actually an all-women's college. Yeah, right. It was all women's college, but they accepted guys for either theater or dance program.
Not an all-women's.
Yeah, no. Not, but it is. There's only like 20 of us there.
And
so,
all-women's college
yeah.
and a guy.
So my mom's like, if you don't like it after the first 6 months or a year, you didn't lose any money.
Right.
I fell in love immediately, so it was great. And then I was in 2010 to date myself, and then since then, I've been lucky enough to work consistently. So I've done a couple national tours. I worked with, for Disney Cruise Line, doing their shows there for, I guess, 2 contracts. Did a lot of regional work. And now I just got back. Goodness gracious, March is when I got back, and then I auditioned, I think 2 weeks afterwards, and I've been here now. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we got you for a little while.
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome. Luke, talk to me, man.
Well, I grew up in North Carolina and didn't do theater at all until I was a junior in high school, and all my friends did the musical, and I was like, I want to have fun with them, and then did The Music Man, and was just like, yeah, I love this. Went to a little no-name school, Appalachian State in North Carolina.
With a great theater program,
Yeah,
by the way,
it's
that
a
we have
really
had
good
like
theater program.
3 people from that program in the show.
Yeah, what's really nice about it is it's really small.
Yeah.
It wasn't a musical theater program, it was just theater. So, I mean, they did musicals, but it was much, I mean, they taught you everything. I did dance and singing and acting. That was their main, like, kind of focus. But I graduated from there and moved right up here and did a couple, like, off Broadway little shows, just kind of, like, get my feet grounded in kind of the theater community here. And then I auditioned for you guys and kind of have been here since, which is kind of amazing that this is, like, my first big show. And
it's lasted
yeah,
this
and it's
long.
lasted so long.
We like to keep people around.
Yeah, it's. I
You
mean,
know?
and I'm very grateful for it.
My pleasure, sir. And Sarah.
Yes. Let's see, I grew up kind of similar to Alex. I grew up in a musical family. My mom is an actress. My dad's a director. And they run a costume company together. So when I was sort of deciding what my thing was going to be, they were like, do sports. They were like, you don't want to do this, it's hard. I was like, yeah, but I was super uncoordinated. Really just like so bad at all sports. so bad. Like, oh my gosh. And I'm really tall, so they were like, do basketball. Or like, let's do volleyball camp. And like, I just got hit so many times. And then they were like, okay, yeah, no, let's just do theater. Let's do theater. So then I went to the Orange County High School of the Arts for high school. And then I went to Oklahoma, which was a little different. But I loved it. I loved the program. In the middle of Oklahoma City. And then I did some regional stuff, some summer stock gigs, and then I moved here in February. And then I guess I auditioned for you in March. Wow. And now I'm here.
We get them right away.
Yeah.
Because you got to in New York.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so very thankful.
Well, we couldn't be happier to be working with all of you. So you mentioned that you have to do some bartending at the Imbible. We literally, we ask people sing ridiculously hard a cappella music, do 27 costume changes, 900 characters, plus bartend and serve drinks. I don't know how you guys do it all, but it's unbelievable. So you guys feel like showing everybody how to make an Irish coffee Imbible style?
Let's do it.
Cool. So this is our sort of musical homage to the way that an Irish coffee was originally made, and it's actually still made to this day at the Buena Vista Cafe in San Francisco. You can go there and watch them make it similar to what we're going to do, but without Josh's crazy music and Nicole's choreography. But again, the Imbible day drinking's homage to the original Irish coffee. You guys up for it?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. And we are so pleased to present on Broadway Bartender the cast of the Imbible Day Drinking doing Coffee Dance Reprise, our homage to the original Irish coffee. Take it away, guys.
Latte, coffee for every double. Coffee for every gotta get a coffee for every gotta coffee for everyone. Gotta get that grande latte. Gotta make that macchiato. Give me lots of cream and sugar too. Just a little bit of that sour cream. Make it snappy. Gotta get that cup of coffee. Gotta I'll take it black.
Nicely done, guys. Nicole DiMattei, Alex Herrera, Luke Schaffer, Sarah Hinrichsen of the off-Broadway musical comedy The Imbible Day Drinking right here on Broadway Bartender. Folks, thank you guys so much for coming. This was awesome. Viewers, you can check us out on imbible.nyc and also BroadwayBartender.com. Links, recipes, all kinds of cool stuff. Folks, drink well. Drink responsibly. Cheers.
Cheers. I'll drink to that again.
Latte, coffee for every double. Coffee for every gotta get a coffee for every gotta coffee for everyone. Gotta get that grande latte. Gotta make that macchiato. Give me lots of cream and sugar too. Just a little bit of that sour cream. Make it snappy. Gotta get that cup of coffee. Gotta I'll take it black.
This week we are talking to the cast of Puffs, or 7 increasingly eventful years at a certain school of magic and magic. When it was in its sort of infancy and you didn't really know what you had, was there a sense of nervousness because you're dealing with such treasured source material?
I mean, I think we were all just having fun at first. Like, there was no like, oh, I need this to work, or I'm not gonna eat this week, you know? I mean, the source material, the world already has so many fans, but I think, you know, they maybe come in expecting just 90 minutes of laughs, but we try to give them so much more than that.
Right.
And there's so many moments that are like, you know, heartbreaking too. So it's not about just spoofing material, it's about creating this storyline and creating these characters that you love, and, you know, having the audience come with you and be like, oh, there's more to this world than, we already love the world and now there's so much more that we can love even more.